Hello, it's the disembodied hands of Allison here for a little craft project. It's becoming fall, which means it's time for my true dark academia trash to shine. And what I've been doing recently is taking some paperback books that I've purchased and rebinding them. Here's a couple that I've done recently. So this is Emma by Jane Austen. I'm actually in the middle of reading this for the first time, but I know it's going to be classics. And then, of course, The Secret History by Donna Tartt, because like I said, I am dark academia trash. The one that we're going to be working on this time is going to be If We Were Villains by Emma Rio. This is a fantastic book. It actually was recommended to me because I read The Secret History. And as you can see, this version has, you know, a bit of wear. It's kind of like warping on the bottom. Edges are a little worn out. So it deserves a little bit better than that. So this isn't necessarily a tutorial. It's going to be more just like a watch me make a book. The first thing we really got to do is remove the paper cover and the spine. The way that I'm going to do this is by ironing it off, which honestly is a little scary and dangerous and sketchy. Don't recommend. The way that DAS recommends doing it is actually you can cut the binding or the cover off if it comes off. And that's probably what is recommended, but I'm gonna take a little risk, and this way you actually get all of it off. You even get the back part off instead of just cutting the covers and back off. Please ignore how absolutely disgusting my ironing board is. I really want to make a new cover. Maybe I'll video that one day. This is a sheet of like Teflon, and I'm going to quickly just wrap my book in it to protect my iron. Just taking a piece of painter's tape. Doesn't have to be pretty. That way when we iron over the edge, we're not going to get any of the paper or glue or anything on my iron. And with the iron hot, let's get ironing off. So there's generally a little bit of glue kind of on the front edge area. And there's glue on the spine. Like I said, this is kind of dangerous. I don't recommend doing this at home. And there's a little bit on the back. Let's see. My iron is very hot. I have it on like the highest setting. See the glue? Then I gently pull. It's okay if there's a little paper on it. It's all gonna be hidden. Okay, the front needs a little bit more heat. There we go. The back page is a little loosey-goosey. That's kind of fine. I might actually just take out these discussion question pages. Just remove the last one then. Okay, here we go. Now we have our text block all ready to go. I've pre-cut some end pages out of this really pretty marble. It's like gold and silver marble. It's very beautiful. So I'm going to use this as the end pages. I've cut it basically just the width of the text block and fold it in half so it fits nicely. And you're just gonna put a little bit of glue on that edge and then glue down, and then we're gonna put it under some heavy books to hopefully make that all stick together. I saw a video by Lou Lacoste recently where she rebound all of her Bridgerton books and did hand painting. I am not that talented. I did some like kind of quick graphic design on Illustrator for mine, but it was really inspiring to see kind of like how far people can take bookbinding, especially bookbinding paperbacks. It reminded me a lot of one of my favorite YouTubers, DAS Bookbinding, this gentleman who I believe is in Australia, and he does amazing, really in-depth bookbinding tutorials. I'm gonna link his information below, and so a lot of the information that I'm using is actually from him. While that's drying, let's work on the spine. So I pre-cut the pieces of chipboard, and so what I made the measurements for these is it's the width of the book minus 1/8, and then the height of the book plus 1/4. And hopefully that'll give us the perfect edge so that it actually has the right amount kind of peeking out from the book on each side. We're gonna assemble these on a piece of scrap paper first so that everything is aligned when we attach it to the book cloth. So I'll start by drawing a nice line on the bottom for all of our pages to align with. And then I'll draw a perpendicular one for the spine. I'll glue that down. We actually want to glue the sides of the chipboard as well. And we're gonna make sure that it's secure on the sides. This is gonna become the outside of the spine. Let's trim off the excess paper. Probably should have done this before. Oops, let's see. But better late than ever. The book cover is going to be a 1/4 inch out, and that's going to be kind of the hinge that allows the book to open properly. So let's mark that off. I probably shouldn't have used gel pens because they kind of get a little smudgy. But I think it'll work all right. It'd be better if I had like little spacers. I know DIS Bookbinding has spacers. That would be very cool. Wait, is that kind of off? No, that's good. And that's good. Cool. Okay, so now we're gonna glue our covers on. Good. Now that I have done that, I can come over here and kind of get the rest of the paper down. I've done bookbinding where I've just kind of glued the spine and the covers straight to the book fabric, the book cloth, and I've actually found that that makes things kind of wiggle a little too much and the measurements get a little messed up. So this is definitely my favorite way of doing this. And this is our cover and our spine. I actually made my own book cloth using a tutorial from Sea Lemon, who also has a lot of really great hobby bookbinding information. And I use this really pretty chambray. It's hard to tell on camera, but it has like almost like a green undertone. It's absolutely beautiful. So we're going to glue the spine and the covers to the book cloth. You really got to work it into the creases to get the back looking real sharp. After you got it really well in this crease and it's kind of dry enough that it's not going to like pull off, then you can kind of continue with the rest of the page. I try to work this little by little because you don't want to get glue all over everything. With the spine looking super crisp, let's continue gluing on to the cover and the back. Looks like a little bit of my paper got a little too rubbed when I was trying to make this crease perfect, so we're gonna hope that'll be okay. I could reinforce it, but I think it's probably fine. This book cloth is pretty sturdy. I decided to patch up this little bit because it honestly kind of threw my binding a little out of whack. It's a little bit thicker or like wider than the other side, so we're gonna try to fix it. No, this is real life, so things happen. Let's see how it looks with the text block. Still a little wonky. Let's see. That's upsetting. Let's see how we can fix this. I might just have to take it apart, honestly. Honestly, I'm a little heartbroken and bummed out that it got all messed up. I guess I need to just... This book cloth is real thick, so it was kind of a struggle to get it to really behave in the nooks and crannies when I was trying to get it to fit in with the spine. So, I think what I'm gonna do is see if I can somehow just shorten this side to match that side. So at least it looks a little more even. This is real life and this stuff happens, but it's still a bummer because, like, I want this to be a really nice book to last a long time. Let's try just taking off a 1/16 of an inch and see what we like. Okay, it's working a little bit. It's actually not cutting too bad, and it's pretty much on the line I drew. It's just getting these scissors in there. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's a little ragged, but it's better. Okay, so I taped over the edges of the fabric just to see what it looked like. And honestly, it looks fine. It looks fine. So we're just gonna move forward. Cool. So I'm going to trim off these corners now that I've kind of trimmed the board because it no longer matches exactly what I want. And start gluing down the tabs. I like to do the sides first and then the top and the bottom. The top and bottom is a little more complicated because you have these like folds and the spine. Just to keep these corners nice, I'm going to put a little painter's tape down for a little bit. I use this little clear ruler as kind of like a bone folder sometimes to get all the edges down flat. Okay, well, here we are at this point. We have the book cloth covering the book, and the next step is pretty cool. I got ahead and designed some iron-on vinyl. It's hard to tell the white on white, with the title and the author's name. And I have one for the spine as well. So we're gonna go over to the iron and iron these on once this is dried a little bit. So I've gone ahead and kind of pre-centered the iron on. I think it looks so nice. And using the Teflon sheet again, I'm gonna iron it on. Let's see. Try to go slow, make a lot of passes. Oh no! Shiitake mushrooms. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. That's a little borked looking. Luckily the cover is fine. I guess I got too hot. We're just running into all the struggles today. Do we think it's charming? Sure, yes, we're gonna decide it's charming. Let me get a pressing cloth. Yeah. I think I might like the pressing cloth better than the Teflon. I was using the Teflon to look all fancy, and honestly I think the pressing cloth just transfers the heat a little more evenly. This. So we gotta do the same for the spine. Okay. I think this might be cold pull vinyl and not hot pull, which is why it got a little warped. I like to reinforce my text block with this kind of woven tape I got. I feel like any just good tape that can be glued on would be fantastic for this, because I feel like a lot of the action of this book is going to be right on this page, so I want to make sure it's nice and strong. Okay, well, the last step is really to glue the text block in. Okay, this part always gets a little tricky. Let's do the other side. So now is the point where I'd put this probably in a book press or underneath some heavy books, just while the glue dries, everything settles, but I can't help but take a sneak peek. You know, we had a lot of twists and turns getting here, honestly. A lot of mistakes and a lot of kind of winging it, but I have to say at the end, I'm gonna look real cute sitting in a cafe this fall reading this book.